Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can tell by the title, today I'm going to touch more on black women and the beauty standard. I've seen a couple of things and I have also kind of looked into it more and saw some videos on social media that made me want to speak about some certain part of this topic a little bit more. And on my first video on black femininity, I have also seen a couple comments. Um, as well as on the reels I posted about black femininity. I understand that it is a very broad topic. I obviously am not trying to touch on every single aspect of that very big topic. I'm primarily focusing, I obviously, like in my video, mentioned women of color, but mainly I'm trying to focus on black women because obviously it's my experience as well, and I've made some research and I really wanted to educate myself on that a little bit more. I understand that femininity can obviously be put onto a broader context, such as femininity in man, mutual femininity in women of color, femininity in also white women as well is also a topic. However, that is not the topic I'm speaking about. I'm talking about femininity in black women, and I've also dabbled a little bit in talking about femininity in women of color. So that's just something I wanted to make clear. But yeah, it's obviously very interesting to always like see the comments and see people's different perspectives and what they think. And obviously get educated as well. So what I wanted to do, the reason why I wanted to speak about beauty standards and black women is because I did see a video on social media and it was a white woman and she was essentially, it was on TikTok and she was essentially to resume what the video was about, she was essentially talking about how we've over racialized the definition of beauty between black women and white women, and that everything needs to be like everything needs to be brought back to race. And the example she used was that like when she searches something on Pinterest, why do black women feel the need to put black women after when you could just search up what you want to search up and it doesn't necessarily have to involve race? And I think the example she used, I'm not sure what the exact example was, but I think she was talking about, for example, like hair. Like, for example, if you search up hair, like why we would feel the need to add black women after. If we search up clothes or a specific trend we want to search up on Pinterest, why do we feel the need to add the word black women after? And I was thinking about that, and I really wanted to speak about this topic. So obviously, I will start about the social media part. So social media and AI models are really highly focused and influenced by Eurocentric features, meaning lighter skin, wavy hair, thinner features, thinner noses, plump lips, wide eyes, like specific Eurocentric features like that. If you guys see me look here, it's because I wrote an essay about it, so I'm just like looking at it. And obviously, that means that if you are searching up something on social media, whether it's Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, you're most likely to have results that will promote Eurocentric features. And an example is like these filters we see. Filters on Snapchat, on TikTok, on Instagram promote Eurocentric features, such as like you'll see these features have like they promote having a lighter skin. They promote having thinner features. And obviously, I'm not just speaking out of my butt. I made research about this, and these AI models also promote such. And it like kind of like adheres to what we call an algorithm aesthetic. So that is like when your algorithm or an explore page, you're most likely to see white women with these that adhere to these features and that adhere to these standards as well. And these women are most likely to also be pushed out to your explore page, to your for you page, things like that. So when she was saying, like I don't know why black women feel like, I don't know why, she didn't say black women. She said, I don't know why women feel the need to bring race into this. It's because if I search up something, I am most likely to get results that promote these Eurocentric features that are not tailored to me. It's not tailored to it would, like for me, for example, it would not be tailored to somebody like me. So obviously I would feel that need to put black women. And I've already tested that. Like right after I seen that video, I try to search up, for example, what's a good example I can use? Hairstyles. If you search up hairstyles, you're gonna get plenty of white women or white women of lighter skin tones and thinner features, and then you would have to add for Black women, for the results to be tailored to Black women. And I've personally experienced that with my personal searches. So when we're saying, oh, well, we don't need to over racialize every single thing, well, everything around us has been, we're kind of in this white supremacist hegemonic system that, you know, that Black women needed to bend themselves around. So we kind of live under that standard, and this standard is not tailored to us. So in order for us to find things that are tailored to us, we do need to bring that race factor into it. So just really hearing that, it's kind of like, if the system has been built for you and around you, so it would obviously be more normal for you to be like, oh yeah, let's just not put race into it. But for somebody who is at the bottom of that system, it's a different story. So that's like kind of like what I was thinking about, like, um, and things like that. Hairstyles, like, I'm gonna have to always search up hairstyles for 4C hair, hairstyles for darker women, hairstyles for dark skinned women, because obviously these results are not tailored to be for individuals like me. So that's something I wanted to touch on. And yeah, like, just a beauty standard, like, obviously, like, Black women, I have spoken about this, I think, really briefly in my other video. Like, I've been under this unrealistic standard and have had to obviously adapt themselves to these standards, and as social media is increasing and AI is increasing as well, have had to bend themselves around that definition. um and now that it's mainstream and it's kind of like the standard, and it's kind of like seen as normal, it's become even more difficult. And things like it's now been kind of like commercialized. So simple things such as the promotion of straighteners, or it's obviously now in 2026 it's much easier, but I've spoken about it in my other video, like, trying to find makeup products for darker skinned women was such a struggle literally like 5 years ago. You would search in the aisles, and the darkest shade would be like 7 shades lighter than I am right now. And hair products as well, that are not tailored to specifically 4C hair, can be very damaging. I haven't made too much research on that, but yeah, like, in terms of the specific hair products and how it can be damaging. But and you've even seen things. I've been in African shops, I've been in African beauty supply stores where there is bleaching cream that is promoted for Black women to buy to bleach your skins. And that's definitely a sad thing, but that's kind of like what was deemed as the standard, what was deemed as um beauty for women, for Black women. So obviously, like, growing up and having this mentality, and this mentality being passed on to generations, it was obviously hard for Black women to break out of that cycle. But like I've said, trying to even, like, I've heard even a lot of times, like, Black women complain about their hair texture, and I've also been part of that too. I've complained about my hair texture a lot, how it's hard to handle, and wanting to obviously straighten our hair. And I'm going to separate two different things. Wanting to straighten your hair because you want to feel beautiful and because you feel comfortable in your skin and you want to see how your hair looks straight is different from wanting to straighten your hair because you want it to be easier to maintain, easier to handle, or because you just have kind of like this shame of having your natural hair texture. Is two very separate things before people start trying to come for me. I have, like, trying to promote, like, I've seen and heard women trying to promote bleaching skin, uh, what's it called? I forgot what the name was, but it's using the product to, like, completely revert the texture of your hair into a softer texture so it's easier to take care of. The fact that our hair is so difficult and coarse to take care of is what makes us Black women unique. And we need to embrace that. Obviously, that's a discussion for another day, and that's obviously depending on the environment you were in and stuff like that. But obviously, these Eurocentric systems and these hegemonic systems and these white systems obviously have defined what feminism. I got a little lost in my words. But I was saying that these systems have kind of defined what it is to be feminine, what the representation of beauty is, what it is to be, what makes a woman feminine enough to be a mother. And these definitions, these beauty standards, and these just these normal systems and standards have been things that when Black women are still trying to break out of till this day to create their own definition and to feel more comfortable in their skins. So like I've obviously like thought about it a lot, and like I said, these systems have masculinized Black women, and I've said that Black women, it's these systems where Black women were at the literal bottom of the scale. So obviously thinking back to that video, um, Black women being at the bottom of the scale, masculine, and everything around them being built around a system that favoritizes them. We're going to go in with that mentality that we have to tailor things for ourselves. We have to build things for ourselves because nothing was built for us or was built around us. And yeah, so that's kind of like what I was writing and thinking about. And I'm kind of happy because I do see that there has been progress in terms of like specific hair creams and hair products that are tailored for 4C hair, because I'm pretty sure that if we use like different styles can't be used on everyone, different hair product cannot be used on everyone. A hair product that can be used for example, white women may not work for Black women, so on and so forth. So I'm really glad that we've made this progress in terms of like skin shade as well. The foundations and the things in aisles, I don't have to spend 20 minutes to look for my shade because I can actually find something that is closer to my shade. Obviously, since it's kind of rare and we're still working on it, it's more, sometimes you will see things that are tailored to darker skinned women that are a little bit more expensive, obviously. But I'm glad we've made that progress and it's a little bit better. But yeah, like I was just thinking about it, like these beauty standards, these unrealistic standards that lead to stigma. I cannot speak today. By the way, if you guys see cuts in the video, it's because I can't pronounce a word and I'm just cutting because it's so embarrassing, and I'm saying it again. But I was saying that these standards that lead to stigma in our communities and like that have like really big impacts long term. But yeah, that's honestly what I was gonna say about it. Because I wanted to touch on it a little bit more. I wanted to get onto the side a bit of like beauty standards and how women are building their own, how Black women are building their own definition of what it is to be beautiful and feel good in their skin. And it's good to see Black women that are proud and that feel comfortable in their skins, and women that are trying to promote being proud and Black and beautiful. I also saw an article and it was talking about the body types, and it was a little bit more about how like Eurocentric features have always promoted that slim body type, skinny women, and that especially in African women, because that's something I do know, um, the beauty standard for African women body type is very curvy and thick, and obviously it kind of clashes. I didn't read too deep in the article, but I did see how, like, obviously these women, that also leads to stigma and long-term effects, because these Black women are now like trying to fit themselves under a standard that's kind of opposite to where they grew up and where they were raised, and that kind of clashes. I also read a lot of the articles that I did read talk about African American women, and I also want to educate myself and read more articles more about African women and our culture and stuff. I remember one thing I do want to address. I remember, and it's about African culture. I remember, and I see a lot of a lot of people who love to wear waist beads and who love to. Uh, I don't know if I would call it culture appropriation, but a lot of women like to wear waist beads and just love to, I guess, wear it for the sake of wearing it, and don't even know the meaning behind it, don't pay no respect to it. Obviously, like African waist beads have originated from Africa. It's called African waist beads for a reason. If I'm correct, it originated from Egypt back in the days. And waist beads were originally worn in terms, at least I know from the west part of Africa, because that's where I am from. Were worn on top of clothing, and it was to signify fertility, beauty. It's kind of like the beauty standard. So women usually wore waist beads to kind of like keep their shapes slim, like not slim, but keep their shapes curvy. And it was also used as a way to regulate weight. So women would wear it to regulate their bodies, and they would wear it. I said on top of clothes. I'm pretty sure it's under clothes. I'm gonna do a quick research and just double check. Okay, so they were usually, I was wrong, they were usually worn under clothes, and it was a sign of fertility. It was used to control weight for women to keep their body shapes, and it was also a sign of, it was also worn by women for their partners, African women for their partners. It was usually something that was really private and sacred. So waist beads was like, it was like the thing. Um, and yeah, I kind of see how like now it's been misused, but that's something I kind of wanted to touch on. But I haven't made too extensive research on it, but that's something I was thinking of, because I remember a story of, without going deep in it, it was like somebody that I knew who was asking if she could wear waist beads. And she wasn't African, she wasn't black, and she was wondering if she was kind of like allowed to wear waist beads. And she would kind of, I've seen a lot of women too, they just wear it on top, kind of. Sorry for the interruption. So these women would usually wear it, these women nowadays would usually wear it on top of clothes, or they would wear it straight on their stomach. Obviously now it has a different use, and it's differently worn nowadays, and it's worn by more and more people. But that's something I just wanted to touch on really quickly. I'm gonna end this video here. If there's something you don't agree with that I said, you can comment. If something you agree with, you can comment, or something you want me to touch on, you can also comment. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another lifetime.